everyone, Speedrunner 0-18 here, and welcome back to the 386 Speedrun Challenge, where we see how fast each Pokemon can speedrun Pokemon Leafgreen. In the last video, we did Mew vs Celebi, and the race was very interesting to watch, and the winner of the race surprised a lot of us. Today, we are using Houndoom. Houndoom is a Stage 2 Dark/Fire type. It doesn't have much of a type variety in its moves, but it does have access to a Stab, Flamethrower, Bite, and Crunch. This Pokemon may seem powerful enough to get a fast time, but with Brock being the first gym, bad defense stat, and it only knowing Ember for quite a while, yeah, we'll see how this goes for Houndoom. Here are the rules for this challenge. I'll put them in the description if you need to reference them later. If you also happen to like this series and would like to see more, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Now, let's get started. 3, 2, 1, go. I'm also working on a new way of scripting these speedruns out so they don't feel so repetitive. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. Anyway, on the first rival fight, since Houndoom only knows Ember, that is the only move we can use. You know, ironically, Houndoom knows Howl and Leer, yet Ember is a special attack move, and Howl and Leer apply to attack and defense. Plus the Dark type in this gen is special, so those moves would only help with moves like Return. His moveset makes more sense in later games, but definitely not in this game. With Ember though, training on the bug catchers in Viridian Forest goes by very quickly. They are all just a one hit with Ember. I'm going to train to level 10 and go immediately fight Brock. What did I expect was going to happen? Even though his Pokemon have weak special defense, which makes Geodude easy, Onix has Rock Tomb, which is very bad, especially with Houndoom's weak defense stat. Funny thing is, I ended up winning the battle solely because Onix got burned, and his Rock Tomb did less damage. That may be a bit too luck dependent of a strategy for round 2, but we'll see. Route 3 is a very easy with a literal Fire Hound. Mount Moon would be difficult if any of the required trainers here were hikers, but luckily the required ones have mainly poison type Pokemon, so Mount Moon is pretty easy as well. When I get out of Mount Moon, I decide to fight Rival 2 over Misty for pretty obvious reasons. Pidgeotto always makes this battle difficult, but my strategy was basically just spam Ember on all of his Pokemon. Another thing I just realized that'll make this run easy is that this Houndoom has the ability Flash Fire, so if it gets hit by fire attacks, it'll take no damage, which will make Charizard and Blaine a lot easier despite not having the type advantage. The Route 24-25 trainers were pretty easy except the hiker with the Onix. I also chose to opt out of getting Secret Power since that involves fighting a hiker. I may think of getting it for round 2 because I was literally unable to beat Misty until I learned the move Bite, which meant that after getting the SS ticket and defeating Rival 3 on the ship, I had to backtrack all the way to Cerulean with the move Bite just to fight her. I also had to grind a little bit too by fighting a bunch of extra trainers and using some of my rare candies from earlier. So yeah, I'm definitely going to need to try and get Secret Power for next time. Anyway, after defeating Misty, I go down and immediately fight Surge. Since I'm over leveled as f*** right now, I just plow through his entire team and the Raichu wasn't even a problem. After getting the bike, I go through Route 9 and Rock Tunnel. The hikers and their rock types were no longer difficult since Bite is a special move in this generation. If it were physical like it is now, it probably wouldn't have killed Graveler in one hit due to its high defense stat. Once I get to Celadon City, I go immediately enter the Rocket Hideout, where I give the Black Glasses to Houndoom to make his dark moves stronger, and I fight Giovanni. It always seems like no matter which Pokemon I'm running with, Kangaskhan is always tough to take down. I wonder how this fight will go when I use Kangaskhan on him. Only time will tell, I guess. After I dig out, I go do some shopping. Besides the usual super potions and super repels, I decided to buy 16 X speeds, 18 X specials, 6 guard specs, and 7 X attack. Usually in the first round, I just buy a bit of everything, but in round 2, I'll know exactly what I need. I always like comparing what X items I buy in round 1 versus round 2 just to see what exactly I needed in the first place. Getting back on topic, Rival 4 was an absolute joke, and so is Marowak. No need to worry though, after Houndoom bit the Marowak to hell, I rescue Mr. Fuji from her grasps and I fly to Celadon. When I get there, I decide to go down to the Safari Zone and get Surf. It is generally worth doing this before any gym battles, so that way you'll have Fuchsia on your fly list. So for example, after I defeat Erica by spamming Bite, I'm able to fly straight to Fuchsia to fight Koga. But instead, I opt out to go to Silphco and fight Rival 5. My main problem with this fight is that I can barely survive 2 hits from Pidgeot, so setting up some X speeds and specials was hard, but I was able to win first try. Who I couldn't beat in one try was Giovanni. Since Houndoom is weak to fighting due to its dark type, Nidoqueen will be able to use Double Kick to kill me, or even a critical hit Body Slam. Okay, I guess that second part is unlikely, but Double Kick is still a massive threat. Not often Giovanni's harder than Rival 5. That's just crazy to me. I realized I was going to need to level up a bit, but first I decided to leave Sylph in the hands of Team Rocket for now and go try and fight Koga. Bite is able to kill the Coughing in one hit. Muck is a pain in the ass like usual and just kills me with Sludge. This is where Houndoom's bad defense stat comes into play. I'm not able to set up many X items on Coughing since Coughing kills me pretty quickly. With Giovanni and Koga not going my way, the only option left was to grind for levels. Before doing that though, I buy some X defense from Celadon since I had the feeling I would need them for some of the hard fights, so I have a chance at surviving some attacks. When I bought them, I realized, maybe these X defense will help me with Koga. So I go back and use some X defense on Houndoom while Coughing was out so Sludge doesn't do too much damage. But the main problem with Coughing is that it knows Smokescreen. I decided it was better to set up on Muck instead while it uses Minimize and Acid Armor, but I ended up dying pretty quickly. This just wasn't going to work out. I was stalling this for far too long, but I have to grind. So I decide to go fight everybody in Silphco. There are a lot of trainers here, so I go for it. I go from level 40 to 47 and try fighting Giovanni again. This fight was definitely a lot easier, especially since I learned Feint Attack while grinding. After only a couple of X specials, I was able to breeze through this fight, commit private property damage, and go fight Sabrina. Sabrina's Pokemon cannot hit me with psychic moves, so she was basically a free win, and another instance of doing gyms out of order. This is why I love these games. Anyway, Koga was a lot easier than last time since even if Coughing used Smokescreen on me, Feint Attack never misses, so I can just use a couple X items and spam Feint Attack for the win. After getting Strength teaching it and Surf to Lapras, I surf down to Cinnabar Island and go fight Blaine. Due to my ability Flash Fire, as I stated earlier, his Pokemon cannot use fire attacks on me. Even though they have the move Takedown, and my defense is dog shit, I'm able to beat him pretty easily. In celebration of this easy Blaine fight, I reject Bill's Island Date offer yet again and go fight the strongest gym leader in the land. But first, the black belt right before him was causing a ton of problems, as he usually does for any dark type Pokemon I use in this series. Remember Poochyena back in episode 2? He had a very hard time on him. In order to get past him this time, I taught Sunny Day to Houndoom and killed his Pokemon with Ember, boosted from Sunny Day. When I get to Giovanni though, he would take me down with Earthquake usually. His Pokemon know a bunch of Ground, Rock, and a couple of fighting attacks, so he is very hard to take down. I do try and learn Flamethrower over Ember, but I don't update my overlay since I kept dying at this fight. What I decided to do was use up all my rare candies to have Flamethrower before Giovanni. What I had to do to win this battle though, was basically just spam Feint Attack. Funny how this hard fight had a simple solution. Well, on to the final 6 fights. Let's do this shit. On Rival 6, I use Sunny Day on Pidgeot, kill him and Rhyhorn with Flamethrower, Feint Attack the Gyarados, and use Feint Attack on the rest of his Pokemon. On Lorelei, this fight was pretty tough to figure out, just like Moltres was. When I did my Legendary Birds race a couple months ago, I had to win this fight by using Sunny Day strats. I tried using that on Lorelei, but those strategies just wouldn't work. What I decided to do was teach Solar Beam to Houndoom over Return, so I could use the Sunny Day Solar Beam strat, since that's one of the only ways he can damage water types in a big way. The strategy allowed me to take her team down pretty easily. On Bruno, he was actually the hardest Elite Four member to take down, mainly since his Pokemon have Rock Tomb and Earthquake. I just kept getting killed on this fight, even with Sunny Day Solarbeam strategies. I realized this fight was just too difficult and inconsistent, so I finally got rid of Solarbeam and taught Double Team to Houndoom. This made the fight a lot easier to win. That is honestly just a record. Most Pokemon who needed Double Team in this series needed it as soon as it had access to it, but waiting until Bruno is both impressive and sad as hell at the same time. Agatha was a lot easier than Bruno. I literally just spammed Feint Attack for the win. Her ghost types were one-shots, and her Golbat and Arbok didn't give much of a fight. When I get to Lance, his Gyarados luckily doesn't know any water moves, so I'm able to set up my X speeds and X specials on him pretty easily and spam Feint Attack on his entire team. Now the champion remains. Let's do this. On the champion, Pidgeot can't do much to me after a couple X defends. I also set up some guard specs to prevent Sand Attack from screwing me over, set up some X speeds and specials and spam Feint Attack. You know, since Feint Attack never misses, I'm not sure it would have mattered if I had the guard specs, since Sand Attack wouldn't have really done anything. That'll be a note for round 2 though. But speaking of this round, Houndoom speedran Pokemon Leafgreen with a final in-game time of 5 hours and 59 minutes and a real time of 1 hour, 30 minutes, and 21 seconds. That was faster than Togetix's round 2 time, so if we stuck with this result, Houndoom will have taken 3rd place. But we all know the rules. All Pokemon get 2 tries, so let's see what Houndoom does for round 2. Before I even began to fight Brock, I grind up Houndoom to level 12 to 13 and just spam Ember on his team. Hoping for a burn is always good, plus Rock Tomb isn't always accurate, but at least it can't OHKO Houndoom on full health, so this fight is alright if you bring enough potions. On Route 25, I actually get the TM for Secret Power. I avoided it the first time since I was afraid of the Hiker's 3 Geodude, but they were honestly not that bad. I was able to get Secret Power for Misty. For her, I used Howl for the first time ever in this video. I used around 3 of them, and I was able to kill Misty's team pretty quickly. This was definitely the biggest time save so far in the video, especially since I didn't have to go to the SS Sand first. Speaking of the SS Sand, that rival fight went real good since I didn't have to grind for Bite. I had Secret Power, so I used that instead. At Lieutenant Surge, I have the move Bite and spam that move for the win. When I go shopping and sell it on City, the final amount of X items I buy are 8 X defense, 10 X speeds, 30 X specials, and 6 guard specs. When I go fight Erica after rescuing Mr. Fuji, I spam Bite on all of her Pokemon, and since I have the black glasses, it makes Bite more powerful than a super effective Ember. Plus the text super effective won't show up, since they're not weak to Bite, which saves a lot of time. After defeating Erica, I go immediately fight Rival 5. I didn't grind in Silphco this time because I decided to buy a bunch of X defense, so that way I can survive quite a bit of Pidgeot's attacks. Giovanni was still quite tricky, but I'm able to take care of him pretty easily with the same strategy as Rival 5. Sabrina was just as easy as last time by spamming Bite. I tried using Ember on Venomoth, but it just wasn't doing much damage at all, so I should have stuck with Bite. I level up with rare candies before Koga to learn Feint Attack, so that way I can set up some X specials on Coughing, have it smoke screen me all at once, and I can just spam Feint Attack for the win. On Blaine, since this Houndoom had the ability Early Bird and not Flash Fire, his Pokemon could Fire Blast me, but due to the AI not preferring not very effective moves, this fight ends up basically the same as before. Just as a note, the Early Bird ability makes you wake up earlier from sleep, so it is helpful if Houndoom's put to sleep. On the final gym leader, he was still very difficult to take down. How I ended up winning this fight? I had to teach Solar Beam to Houndoom, then use Sunny Day on Dugtrio, KO it with Feint Attack, Fire Blast the Nidos, and Solar Beam Rhyhorn. On Rival 6, I set up some X specials and spam Feint Attack for the win. On Lorelei, the strategy I had to use to win was use a Sunny Day, 1 X Special, and spam Solarbeam / Flamethrower on her team. Her Lapras won't go down to 1 Solarbeam, but I didn't have time to set up multiple X Specials since Dewgong kept changing the weather to hail. But luckily, Houndoom can tank a Surf from Lapras if it's sunny. On Bruno, I set up 6 Double Team on Onix, some X Specials, and I spam Feint Attack on his Onix and Flamethrower on his fighting types. Agatha was a semi-simple sweep with Feint Attack and Flamethrower. However, I did end up having to use an X-Speed since I kept getting outsped by some of her Pokemon, like her second Gengar. On Lance, I set up some X-Speeds, 6 X Specials, and spam Feint Attack on his team. Dragonite is able to survive a Feint Attack, but I luckily don't take too much damage from him. The champion fight was pretty difficult. I had to use a bunch of X defense to survive Pidgeot's Aerial Ace. I then set up some double teams, since even with 6 X Specials, I am not able to kill his Gyarados in 1 hit, and it kills me with Hydro Pump. Besides Gyarados, the rest of his team went pretty well. That round 2 went a lot better than last time, mainly the whole Misty split. Some fights I wasn't able to make consistent, such as Lorelei, but it doesn't matter. Houndoom got a final in-game time of 4 hours and 57 minutes, and a real time of 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 8 seconds. This is a very great time for a Stage 2 Pokemon, especially for a Fire type, which tend to not do well in Kanto mainly due to Brock, Misty, and Lorelei. However, I'm quite proud of it. I believe if Houndoom didn't have to use all those X defense, he could have been faster than Celio. But getting a new Pokemon in first place will happen one day, but for now, Houndoom gets 7th place on the leaderboard and 2nd place among all Stage 2 Pokemon. It looks like our next Pokemon is Flygon. That's all I've got for you. If you like this series, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next speedrun.